Hi, this is Dr. Taheri. Welcome to another SolidWorks tutorial. In this tutorial, we talk about sheet metal and forming tools. A very important feature in SolidWorks is how to make a sheet metal, and of course, using forming tools, how you can perhaps engrave on sheet metals. So the objective of this tutorial is to make an enclosure for a power supply for a computer, and then at the end we forge a maple leaf symbol on the bottom of this. So we have several features here. We go through each one by one. Let us start going a new part. I go to right plane, making a sketch, start a line from here to here, go up and here, and then I simply make the same this side here, extend it, and then you continue from here to here. Let's give the dimension to this. We are in inch, so let's go here and change it to inch. We go to unit, and the unit is inch. So continue here would be 5.5, and this would be 3.5. So as here is 3.5, and here is 0.5. So as 0.5, I could have actually made a mirror, would have been perhaps easier. I didn't. So and now the next thing is I want this to be center, so select this point and this line, and it goes to midpoint. This is done, and the next thing is I go to base flange. So this is almost like extruding, so I go here to mid plane and I go to 5.85, and then of course there's a feature here, use gauge table. I use steel, last one. There are several stages here, but I go through most basic one. So you go and use gauge table. There are several types of gauge table. I go to steel, and in terms of the sheet metal, so you have several gauges from 3 to 18 in this table. 18 is the thinnest and 3 is the thickest, so I go to thinnest, which is number 18, and here I have made my sheet. Now I go to this face, making a sketch on this face, make it perpendicular. First thing I do, I want to find the center here, so I'll go from this side to this side to the center line, and then I make a circle here. So the circle has the diameter of 2.95. The distance between the center and here is 2 inches. And then I make another circle, same center, the diameter is 1.25. Now I make 2 lines, one from here goes to here, and the other one goes from here somewhere to here to the other one. Now what I do is I have this point and this point I want to be horizontal, and the angle between this line and this line I want to be 90 degrees. So, and then last but not least, I use offset entity. I select the big circle, reverse, and 0.275. That's one, and I continue doing the same thing. I go offset entity, select here. So as you can see, if I magnify it here, it depends on what direction I go. I have 2 arrows here, one yellow going toward left and the other one going to right. So I want to have my second offset entity going this way. So I select here, click anywhere, and I have made my geometry. So the next thing, I want to make a vent. So for that, I go to insert, I go to a fastening feature, and there's a vent here. So in vent, first I have to clear this. So I have to select the outside circle. So you can see I already cut it. Then I go here, I select the rib. There are two ribs here. I can maybe actually change it to 0.15, and then we have spars here, so 1 and 2, and finally I want to have my filling boundary to be right here, and here is what I got. So you can see I've generated a vent. So next step is I go to this space, making a sketch on it, and in order to be able to see what I done, so I go here to wireframe. So I want to make a square roughly in the center here. I don't give a dimension here, something like this, and this is done. Now the next thing I do, I go to insert, and I go to curve, and I use split line. So in terms of split line, I have selected the sketch already, and then in here I select the face, and as soon as I've done that, so what happens is here I show, if I select here, you can see the whole thing is selected. However, if I go to the back one, you can see I can separate these two. I have two faces here. So by splitting line, I made an area within a surface. So this comes handy for what we do next. So let's go to insert, and you go to pattern, and then you go to fill pattern. So this is what you get here. So select the boundary here. This is your boundary, and here you go create seed cut, and this is what you get here. So you can have different geometry here, so you can have it this way or this way. So I just leave it as is, and I can have it square or circle, or I can have it polygon. So and in this case I make it 5 faces, and here what I got. So if you see the 5 is not good, you just simply go here, you go edit, and you can maybe instead of 5 you make it 6, which is more uniform, and here what you see. So this is a vent, and this is what the air passes through. So let's continue. I want to actually show you something interesting. So you have here a feature inside. It's called Design Library. You click on it, and maybe you can open it a little more. And you have several features here. It would be a good idea to go through these and try to explore what you have. So at this stage I'm interested in forming tool. You click on it, and you will see several forming tools here. And by the way, if you don't see it, you have to right click, and you have to have this forming tool be selected, because when you want to drag and drop, if this is not selected, you might have problem. So let's go down here to forming tool, and let me see where I was here. Let's go to features here. Yes, you go to features, and then here you go to sheet metal, and when you click there, you get several features here, including a keyway. So I select here, and all I do, I drag it to this face, as I did. I let it go, and as soon as I've done that, it automatically brings me this geometry. I can simply change this one here by going this side and overwriting, and let's just overwrite here. So this one I make it 1, the value of B would be 0.75, and then you go all the way down here, don't touch nothing here, the C is going to be 0.375, and here is exactly the geometry I want. Now at this stage, if you want to rotate that, you have two choices. Either you go simply, you finish it, you go and select a sketch and rotate the sketch, or easier than that, you go edit the sketch. Here this option comes here, and then you go to tool, and you go to sketch tool, and you go to modify, and now this opens here and it simply shows you what you want to do. So you want to rotate it perhaps 90 degree, is this way. If you want to do another 90 degree, it's going to be this way, and you could do another 90 degree, is exactly what you want to do. That's okay. So you finish that, and it's done here. As I mentioned, you could change it as is here too. You can go here and this extrude cut, and then you go open extrude cut, and you go to sketch, edit sketch, and you see all the values are here. Let me just go and now I want to actually give a dimension from here to here. I want to make it 0.1, and there we go. This is what I want to do, and this is done here. Okay, so there are other features here as well. Let's just go to forming tools, and you go to lances, and here you have a bridge. So all you do, you drag it here. So let me just magnify it, maybe it's a little more helpful. So I bring it here, and it depends on what direction you want goes in or out. You can simply, you can see that you can change the tab here. I soldered on this one here. By pressing tab, I go ins and out. So of course in this space I can go this way or the other way. So I want to put it in, and this is how it looks like. So of course in this case I had to do it the other way around, so I want to get it out. So let me just delete that, and I simply bring it here, and now it's going in. Now same as before, I can change the sketch. I go here to sketch, and I go to modify, make it perpendicular again, and I can say, for example, this line and this line to be or actually I can say this point and this point to be vertical, and now they are aligned with each others, and here that's what I wanted to do. So now at this stage, if I want to make exact same thing on the other side, so I go to feature, I go to mirror, I go mirror to respect to front plane, and what do I want to? I want to do the length as well as the QA, and here I have mirrored these. The next feature I would like to talk is making edges, and this is important. So you go to sheet metal, and here you can see the edge flange. So all you do here, you have to select the edge, and here's the one. I want to have this edge, and then you go here and stop line, use up to vertex, and I select, for example, this point. There we go. But also there's a feature here. There is called the position of the flange, and I just magnify, and I want to show you what are the differences here. So I can have different scenarios. I can have something like this. As you can see, it starts from in, or I can have it out, or I can go actually further, or finally even this way. So I use the third one. I could also have it offset, which looks like this, or I can have it trim side bends. So these are all the features here. You have to explore the differences. So this is what I made. Let's do the exact same thing for this side, just for practice. I could have mirrored it anyway. So I go here, edge. I want this edge. I want to go to vertex, and I select this point, and exactly the same thing here. So I made that. And next thing what I do is I want to use for this face. Now here is a little tricky, because in this face, first of all, I can simply go and I can define how far it has to go. So I put it here 0.4, and then so if I leave it like this, as you can see, these two are overlapping, so I have to go this one, which goes inside, and you can see now it works. So this cut in, and then this is covering out. So you can see this being extended, and this would be cut in. And now the geometry is good. As you can see here, it makes complete sense. And now I want to make the exact same one the other side. So obviously I go here to feature, I go to mirror, and I want to mirror that to respect to right plane. And what are the features here? I have this edge, and this edge. So you can see it's completed right here. Couple of more things. So in here I have also an arc length here, and I might need that for these two sides. So I simply go here and I place it right here, and here's how it looks like. So now let's just give the geometry to this feature as well. You go here, you go to sketch, and you want to modify the sketch. Let's make it perpendicular. So I want the dimension from this point to this edge to be 0.5, and from here to here, oh, this is gonna be overriding here. Let's see again. For this to this, oh, it keeps overriding it here. So let's see if I can do it this way. So from here to here, yes. So it's 0.25, 0.25, and here is the geometry defined. And if I want to make another one here, I can simply go and do another mirror, or I can use the one that we had before. Just like make another mirror here, mirror to respect to front plane, and geometry is this, and now it's done. And if you want to make two more the other side, you can do that. So this is as far as what we have. So the only difference here is I've made actually kind of maple shape forging here. I like to go a little on tangent, and here I teach you about how to make forming tools. So let's just make a new part. So in this new part, what I'm trying to do is, it comes very handy that sometimes you have an actual JPEG or other formats picture, and you want to import that picture to Solidworks, and then you want Solidworks trace perhaps either the color or the edges. Let's say you have a car and you want to make the exact same car, so you can just follow the edges and then turn it to a sketch. So let's just go here to front plane, making a sketch, go to tool, and you go here to sketch tools, and down here is called a sketch picture. So SolidWorks is asking you from where you want to get this file. I've already have that, and I have copied this maple leaf picture, which is fairly large. I can make it smaller here, for example. Actually, do it smaller. Here is the maple leaf picture. So, and then you can simply go and you can trace it. But before that, so you have to go here to option to adds in, and here we have auto trace. You have to activate that auto trace. Okay, so let me just do it one more time. So I go here, picture, and it goes property, and then the second time you see this feature came here, next. So you click on the next, and it gives you 4 options. So you can select this rectangular area as you select it here, and I select this like here, and then I can say trace, and you can see trace this. I can simply go and I can make whatever I want line like this, and I ask to trace that. It does. I can simply go here and trace it by line, like go from here to here, just follow it, and it does it. Or I can use the second one, the last one, which is very handy in this case. It's called the color. So I select this red color and I go trace, and as you can see, it does trace it. Of course, it's not as accurate as it's supposed to be, and you see the roughness here. So it didn't do a good job this time. Last time was better actually. Let me see the contrast. I can replay. Let's do one more time. Let's go here, right click, property, and by the way, by this you can make it mirror to two different axes. You go to next and select trace. Yeah, it roughly is the same. So by changing here, you might be able to modify the geometry more or less. And here what you get, so the next thing is you go and you delete the picture, and from here of course you need to do some modification here. For example, for this maple leaf, so make this one and this one here, and then you bring it up here as I did. So see, you modify it, and the next thing I do is I go and extrude it. So I extrude the geometry here. So here is what I get, and maybe I make it 5. Done. And in this stage I go to sheet metal, I go to forming tool, and now in forming tool what it does is simply you have to define a stopping face, which is green here, and also you can remove any of these faces. So for the sample I showed you, I didn't remove any faces. I will show you later on. And then you have a shape like this, and then you go and save it, and make sure you save it somewhere that you can recognize. For example, I've saved it already in the RIP folder. So let me just close this and I'll show you what I have done here. So for example, in my RIP folder, I have this maple leaf. It's actually better, and then I have the maple leaf 1. Now what I do here, I'm gonna go and show you something. So let's just close this maple leaf 12. I don't know where I got that one. but it should be somewhere anyway. So I remove that, and if I want to forge this, I simply go and I grab it and bring it here, and I press OK. So in this case, you see this has been already forged. Now let me delete this, and I would open Maple Leaf 1. This is the geometry. So of course this is the stopping phase, means you forge it, it has to go as far as the width of this maple leaf. And then of course I go to forming tool and I go to edit. I can also remove some of these faces. For example, I can remove this face and this face, these two faces. I say OK and I save it. Now let's see what's gonna happen if this time I forge. When I forge this here, you see, interestingly, now I have those two faces removed, as you can see here. Now if you want to remove more faces, let me delete this, and I simply go here, I open the maple leaf again, and I go to edit, and I remove more faces here. I remove actually several of these faces here. So let's see, remove this and this. Actually everything except the stem. Yeah, and I say OK, and as you can see that the red represents the faces removed, and this is represent where you stop. So let's say I save it, and now if I forge it now and I do that and I bring it here, as you expecting, well, there's an error here. Now let's see what is the error. Most probably it says that the thickness does not match, and yes, that's what I thought. So this is a little too thin. So in this case, because this side is too thin, I have to do some modification. For fixing it, I guess the one way is you go, and you might face these problems too. So you either have to change this geometry, because now when you remove that, this contact is so small that it overlaps and overdefine the geometry. So let's go to the sheet metal here, and this is what I had, the gauge. Let's see if I can use maybe steel. So steel, I use aluminum, and it might not even help, but let's see. And override the thickness, and then I make the thickness actually 0.05. Let's see if it's gonna help. And the radius also I make it 0.05. No, it didn't help. So just do one more time, see what I can do here. So you go to edit, override here. And let's see this time it helps or not. Again, the problem caused because I removed many of those faces here, and now still it doesn't work. So let me just go back here and open here and do some modification here and remove. I think that might help here. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, it did help actually. So you can see now what I have here, because before was caused, this was causing the problem here, so it's too thin. But you can see now I remove those faces here, and now it looks like this. So this is the geometry. We can play around with this. It's rather handy feature. I have few more here. Now let me just delete this. I did trace UBC logo. Actually, it's huge. It doesn't fit here. Actually, can open this one here. This is the part of UBC logo, and that most probably would cause a problem as well because of here such a small edge. I don't bother with that, and then I actually have BC map, British Columbia map, and here I can do, see, I can just maybe forge it in, or I can add a text, and this most probably would cause a problem too. We'll see. So here's the text. Yeah, because of the same reason, because the geometry, the radius are not good. So in order to making the text is also very easy. This is how I did. Let me just open this, and I simply made an extrude, and then I wrote here, and then I extrude it again, and I select this face as a stopping face, and now I can maybe use this and forging it. So there are lots of features you can play with. I strongly suggest you go through all these features. You have various geometries here. Get familiar with that and use it. I hope this very long tutorial helps you to get more familiar with sheet metal as well as forming tools. Thank you very much.